Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning. It is January 5th, and today is 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks ago today that we went live with the channel. So I just want to take that pause like we do occasionally and just recognize that we are really 42 days into this thing, and just how far we've come together in those 6 weeks. I just think it's important to push pause and recognize things like that occasionally. So, we're right around 4,700 people inside the channel now. So, it's still, to me, it still feels like a bit of a family atmosphere. We still chat, we still talk. I think that's something that I very much enjoy, and would like to, no matter how large we grow in here, I'd like it to become, well, I'm sorry, to remain friendly and warm and chat, and that we stay connected. I enjoy that quite a bit here. So it's still absolutely freezing here in DC. I mean, nothing like what New England's experiencing, but it's really like 10, 11 degrees today. It's gonna be worse tomorrow and again on Sunday. So it's just hard to get out there and produce any real car content. We do we do have a huge announcement here in a minute. We'll talk about the Demon, but the other thing is just the video skills, the editing skills. Sometimes I forget it's really only been a few weeks, but the ability to edit and splice and get camera mounts and stabilize things, the copyright infringement charge yesterday, adding soundtracks, and now I know I've got. Really, I think the next one needs to be time-lapse. I learned how to do it last night. Pretty much with the equipment I use. I mean, I really enjoy the iPhone X more than anything. It's the easiest platform for me to take it into iMovie and produce something for you all fairly quickly. Is something that's very mobile, and it's something I can do on the phone even. So I learned how to do it. It's something you have to decide before you video rather than to do it during the edit process. So now I'm smart enough to know that, so you'll see that in the future. So I want to switch over and talk about our Demon for a minute. We found out yesterday from Dodge that it went into production yesterday, so that's really, was that 2.5 weeks earlier than it had been projected. So it is now carrying a completed ship date of February 5th. So again, that's a week or two earlier than I thought. So hopefully they'll stick to it. Hopefully it will come through the base production plant, and then the shipping to the upfit plant, and then the full QA process, and then the shipping it to my dealership. But it's pretty exciting to see that thing move into production. And as soon as, obviously every day that there's a change, I'll get it to you as well. Then we'll go through that whole process of learning it, right? The line lock, the trans brake, learning how to really race it, and then we'll take it into the drag season. So I think it'll be the vehicle I take to the call out. I think you'll see that at the track first, probably before any other vehicle, but it's pretty exciting. Then we have to decide what to do with it. And so if you guys want to start thinking through some of this, there are really two paths for the Demon, and I don't know where I am on it yet. And I realize I have to make that decision, but if you want to participate in it or give me some thoughts, I'd appreciate it. One is leave it as a museum piece. Leave it as truly collector's item. I get the sense that's where most of the Demons are headed. And the other is to turn it into, truly mod it into a track beast. And so I don't know if we on the channel need to create a track beast and use another vehicle to do that. It's not either or. We can do both and preserve the Demon as something that's special and is a unique piece of American history. So it's not both. They're not exclusive answers, but the question is, if we create a track beast, truly a drag beast, do we use our Demon as a platform for that, or do we go and create something truly from scratch as a beast? So I don't know where I am on that yet, and probably won't for a few months, but let's just think through it. So let's start that part of the conversation. So guess what? Today I have two topics. They really have both come from you over the last few weeks, and they're a little bit older questions, so I mean, for those of you who've been asking this, it might be frustration. I don't really know, but I finally got to the point where I can answer these two. So the two questions I want to talk to or answer to today are, how do you evaluate or value your A players? So when you own a business and you have someone that's truly your right-hand person or your key producer, how do you value that person? And then the second one will be kind of, in my life, is what sits before you a product of luck, hard work, or both? So I just want to talk through that as well. So I made a bunch of notes on the evaluate your A player. So as always, I've got my notes, but I'm going to look at them today because it's a pretty complex answer. And so bear with me. I mean, again, this video is not going to be for you if you don't care about this subject, because I do want to dive into it and I do want to talk to you about it. When you evaluate an A player, when you talk about the compensation of an A player, it's not cut and dry. It's not do these three things and you get a number, right? It's more of like a cloud of mosquitoes, and you have to get in the middle and allow all these factors to influence the process of figuring out, what is this person worth to you? And so I just want to walk through what I use here, what my company uses as our kind of cloud of knowledge. And so the first few things are, get the baseline. Like, where are we? Like, what are you paying that person right now? That's the first thing. What's the baseline? And then, are they asking for something? So you get a sense of where are they now and where do they want to be. And then another concept that has worked well for us is the idea, the philosophy of salary versus a comp package or compensation package. Because really, at least in my world, it's not what a person is paid is not just their salary amount. So just, again, speaking from my experience, it's salary, it's the benefits. And by benefits, I mean, like, we have health care, we have life insurance, we have short-term disability, we have long-term disability, we have 401k with about 18 investment options. We match their contribution, and then we have paid time off. And so typically someone will start with 2, maybe 3 weeks, so 10 or 15 days of PTO, and it can grow up to like maybe 6 weeks. And so when you add all that together, that's the comp package. And so we can turn our thinking and turn your talking and turn your thoughts and turn your meetings with your A players to talk about comp versus salary. And then as part of the baseline, did you have any agreements? Does the A player have expectations or think that you all made agreements, whether they're verbal or in writing? And I would advise you that as you onboard people into your company, you put things in writing. And I mean everything that surrounds their employment, even their future expectations. Are they going to be offered benefits or not? What's their starting salary? If there is increased expectations on your part or theirs, I might put it in there and say, we're going to evaluate you in that 2 or 3% range, or we're going to evaluate adding you to a bonus program or to a profit sharing program. I would put that in writing so that they don't go, well, you said this, well, I meant that. And that can really help you stay out of emotional gaps. You thought one thing and they thought another. It's best to deal with that up front and in writing than to get a year out and find out you have a total disconnect. So the next thing is, are you going to do a bonus or a raise, right, as you think about what somebody's worth? And what I would also advise you is, I found bonuses to work great. There's an emotional thing. You can give them a number, you can pay them, but it doesn't automatically increase their year after year after year cost. At some point, people get priced out of the market. At some point, you say, you're at your max. I can't. You're not worth more money, and yet you can give them a bonus, and it doesn't add to their cost. After you don't. The problem with raises is that they're compounding. Each year you give a raise and then another raise on top of that and on top of that. So just be careful of that. The next set of questions is really about, what are they worth to you, to your business? How many clients do they take care of? How much revenue do they produce? How much net income or profit or gross margin do they produce? What are they worth to the business? And then what are they worth to you? What burden are they removing off of you as a person? You as the owner, you as the CEO, you as a mom or dad, if they weren't doing it, would it be a few extra hours a day for you every day, 7 days a week? So just factor that in. What are they worth to you, and what are they worth to your business? And get detailed, like dollars, customers, hours. What is it worth to you? And then now you want to start talking about what are they worth out in the world? And so the next part is act as if you're hiring another one. And go look on Monster.com or the other job boards. What are the other shops paying them? What are other companies paying them? What would it cost you to hire a second one? And now you've kind of got your baseline set up, what they're worth to you, what other places are paying them, what you see on the market. And the other thing I would counsel you on is doing this search one time isn't enough. You want to build up a knowledge base, a repository of, search these things regularly, talk to other companies regularly, search the job boards regularly, and because you need more than one data point. You need to see across the 6 months, across the year, across 3 years, across 5 years, what are these people worth to other places? And the last piece that we use is, what would happen if that person left and was working against you, working for your competitor, helping the other company do something wonderful? We call it taking the weapon off the table. I always look at it as like guns are pointed at us. How do I get that gun onto my table? Or how do I prevent my guns from going off the table and being pointed back at me? So for that, I think that's really all I have. So you got to get it baselined. What are they worth to you? What are they worth to your company? What's their comp package versus their salary? What would it cost you to hire or buy a second one? What would happen if that person left and was then pointed at you as a competitor? And then do this repeatedly. Do it quarterly or do it every 6 months, whatever your time will allow. So you build up a knowledge repository around this decision. If you're trying to make a decision tomorrow and you start this today, you're going to screw it up. So if you can, that's what another one of my fundamentals is, you push events away from you. And so if you know someone's going to need a compensation discussion in June or August or at the end of the year, start that process today so that you are more prepared and smarter on your end. If you have to do it today for tomorrow, then you're just going to have to do your best. But try not to do that again. Try to live a life where you're getting prepared for decisions that are 6 months or a year away. So the second question you guys have asked me is my success a factor of hard work or luck? And the answer is going to be to the question I wish you'd asked. And so what is, the success that we talk about or that you see on my side of the lens is the result of preparation and consistency and momentum building. And I think Thomas Jefferson said it, the harder I work, the luckier I find myself to be. And I don't really believe in luck. I really don't believe in waiting for something to happen and then you get lucky. I believe the more prepared you are, the luckier you become. And what I don't really mean that. I find that the more prepared I am, the calmer I am, the more I am able to recognize an opportunity. And the more mature I am and the more mature my organization is, the better prepared I am, the further I push event horizons away from me, the more prepared I am to be able to strike, to pivot and be nimble and strike when an opportunity occurs. And so what I think a lot of people look in from outside on my life, you know, they see a very lucky guy, and I can't just take all the credit and say it's all me. But what I think, what was really from inside the fishbowl, what I'll tell you is, you know, I'm very prepared, and I'm very connected, I'm very aware. So I recognize a lot of opportunities, and I'm very prepared. And so I can pivot and strike on an opportunity that maybe 99.9% of people couldn't do. They either completely, the opportunity completely blew by them like a ship in the night, and they didn't even see it, or they saw it and had no idea how to be prepared for it, and so then it got by them. And so we talked a couple of videos ago about being calm and connected, and if you're calm and connected and you are driving to your passions, and your passions are mapped to your daily, hourly, weekly, monthly activities, your motivation is kind of self-generating, and then I believe the universe gets behind you. Some will say, well, God, you know, God helps those who help themselves, or, you know, the mastermind or the universe gets behind. And I've talked about, there are many events that have happened in my life because I am aligned, because I am chasing my passions, because most of my motivation is to take care of others and prepare or provide opportunity for others, whether they be my family, for you guys, for my employees, for my clients. Most of what we do is to help others. And I think God or the universe gets behind us and throws us opportunities. You know, and I further think that the more you demonstrate the ability to do that, opportunities that are provided to others and then not taken are sometimes taken back and provided to us. We've had several opportunities that we didn't chase, that were won by somebody else, failed, and then we were asked to come in and save it and then take it over. You know, we have one coming up in the next couple of months that was ours years ago. We lost it, and it's now being brought back to us. So I can't explain how many times that has happened to me. So I don't believe in luck. I believe in preparation and being connected, being calm, being observant, and then being ready. But I will admit, most people will look at me and say I'm very lucky. And I am. I'm very fortunate. I'm very appreciative. I bring no ego to this. So I get it. I understand that. And I don't want to be ego-based and say I made it all happen, because that just isn't true. In fact, if I were to say that, start taking that attitude, I would become unaligned. I mean, I think a lot of things that we've built would fall apart, or other new ones would not be brought to us. So anyway, that's it. That's my luck versus hard work speech, and then how I evaluate 8 players. The Demons inbound. Eventually, winter will end, and we'll do some more things. We have, you know, I've been practicing the launch starts with the Trackhawk. I'm getting pretty good at it. The critical part is, where can I do it where I can film it, because it's a pretty dangerous thing to do in a closed environment. So we'll have some fun. I appreciate all of you being in here. I love that you continue to comment and ask questions. I wrote down a couple of questions. I know there are some questions out there that need to come up fairly soon. You guys keep asking about some more information on my inflection points in my life, decision points that really put me on the trajectory that you see today. So we'll do some more of that. You guys keep asking about goals for this channel. I don't know if I have too many, so we'll talk about that. And then a couple of you asked about, how do we pitch new clients? How do we pitch new work? And then again, that's a preparation process. I'll walk you through it. So I'm not ignoring your questions. They're all being written down. You guys have a great Friday. I'll be leaving at noon. That's one of the gifts I gave myself, is I leave at noon on Fridays. And it's meant to go straight to the family, straight to the farm, straight to the garage. So I'll be doing that again, first Friday of the year. Have a great one. I hope this helps. Ask questions, make comments. Let's keep this going. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you about later. Bye.